Hello everyone, our today's topic is types of a chemical reactions. Okay, so there are four major types of a chemical reaction. Let's write here. First is combination reaction. We will see one by one what are these. Second type is decomposition reaction. Third type will be displacement reaction. Fourth one will be double displacement reaction. So, these are the four major type of a chemical reaction. Displacement reaction. Okay, and these four types of a chemical reaction, these chemical reaction are classified into four types on the basis of nature and number of the reactant and product molecules. Okay, so these are classified, these chemical reactions are classified on the basis of nature and number of a reactant and products. Now let's see one by one what are these. Now let's discuss the first type of a chemical reaction, which is combination reaction. So in this type, when two or more reactants combine in a reaction to form a single product. Okay, two or more reactant will combine in a chemical reaction to form a single product. So this type is called as a combination reaction. Okay, now let's take example. Here we have experiment of ammonia. Okay, ammonia and hydrochloric acid. See it? Okay, ammonia react with ammonia in gaseous state and hydrochloric acid also in gaseous state react together. These two reactants react together or combine to form a single product, which is ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. Okay, so this is ammonium chloride. Let's write the name of the reactant and product, ammonium chloride, formed by mixing of ammonia and HCl, which is hydrogen chloride or hydrochloric acid, hydrogen chloride. Okay, now let's take another example in which this is this activity is given in the notebook of class 10th. Okay, so here magnesium react with oxygen or air. It will form again here magnesium and oxygen from air react together. They will form magnesium oxide. Okay, here I am writing the name, magnesium oxide, and this is magnesium. It will react with oxygen of air. Okay, now let's take third kind of a reaction, third example, which is calcium oxide. Okay, so this is a calcium oxide reacting with water or mixed with water, and we have to heat this. It will form calcium hydroxide, which is CaOH twice calcium hydroxide, and this is a, here heat will produce. Okay, heat will produce. So this is a exothermic type of a reaction in which heat is produced while the reaction. Okay, so this is calcium hydroxide and this is calcium oxide. Okay, now let's move towards second kind, which is decomposition reaction. Okay, so student in combination reaction, here in two reactants are there, they will mix and mix together and they will form single product. Okay, now in decomposition type of reaction, what is this? The chemical reaction in which two or more products are formed. Okay, so this is reverse of combination reaction. That means here two or more product will be formed from a single reactant. That means here our reactant will decompose into two product. Okay, now let's take example. Here I am taking so this is called as a decomposition reaction. Okay, now let's take example of this. Alright, so here we will take the example of sugar. Sugar formula will be C12H22O11 sugar, right here sugar means glucose, okay, this is glucose is a form of a sugar, and it will, this single product, this glucose is will decomposed into 12 carbon plus 11 molecules of water, okay. So this is a carbon and molecule. So here from single product we will get, single reactant we will get 2 or more different product, alright. Now let's take a second example of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate in solid state, we will heat this reaction, we will heat this compound calcium carbonate, and again we will get here 2 product. That means this will decompose into 2 product, which is calcium oxide in solid state plus carbon dioxide, liberation of carbon dioxide gas, okay. Now next is, this is electrolysis process, okay. So what is this electrolysis? This here in this reaction electrolysis, we have to see the decomposition of water, okay. That means water this is a process in which, here I am writing the definition first, in which water decomposes into 2 elements, which is hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen gases on passing electric current, okay. So on passing electric current, the through the acidulated water, that means acid will be there in water, acidulated water, okay. So by passing electric current from the acidulated water, water will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen, alright. Now let's write the reaction. 2 molecules of water in liquid stage, it will decompose into hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas, okay. So this is a electrolysis of water molecule. Now third kind of reaction is displacement reaction, okay. So in displacement reaction, what is this? The reaction in which the place of the ion of less reactive elements, okay, place of a ion of less reactive element in a compound is taken by, so this will be our reactant site, okay. So in the reactant, the less reactive element, it will take place, so this is a reaction in which the place of ion of less reactive element in the reactant side, okay, is taken by the another more reactive element by formation of its own ion. So here let's take an example of copper sulfate, okay. Example of copper sulfate, it will react with zinc, okay. So zinc is reactive than the copper, that means here copper is a less reactive and zinc is more reactive. So zinc will take place of the copper and it will form zinc sulfate, that means highly reactive element will take place of the less reactive element and it will form zinc sulfate plus copper, okay. And it will form, and in this reaction zinc will form, okay, zinc ion will be formed, that means in Zn+2 state from zinc ion will form from zinc and zinc atom, and that take place of copper 2 plus ion from the copper sulfate, okay. So here this kind of reaction is a displacement reaction, that means from zinc it will form zinc ion which is Zn2 plus, and this zinc take place, the Zn2 plus ion take place the copper from the copper sulfate, okay. So this is the zinc will displace the copper which is less reactive than the zinc. So this is a displacement type of a reaction. Now again let's take one more example here, example number 2. So here I am taking example of copper sulfate and lead, okay. So again in this type of a reaction, lead is a more reactive than the copper, okay. So lead will form ion which is Pb+2, okay. Pb+2 is a lead ion, it will form lead ion and it will displace the copper from the copper sulfate and it will form the compound which is lead sulfate, PbSO4, okay, plus copper, alright. Okay. Now next kind of reaction is double displacement reaction. Now what is this? The reaction in which the ions in the reactant are exchanged. Okay. So here two compounds that will be there in the reactant side, and in which the ions in the reactants are exchanged to form a precipitate. Okay. So here reactant will be exchanged. Ions in the reactant side will be exchanged. Now let's take an example. Okay, so in a double displacement reaction, we will take an example of reaction with potassium chromate K2CrO4 plus barium sulfate. Okay, so here two elements are there, barium and potassium. So these will exchanged and they will form a different product. Like here potassium chromate react with barium sulfate. So here barium will potassium displaces by the barium and it will form barium chromate. Okay, BaCrO4 plus potassium sulfate will be formed. Okay, so this type of a reaction is a double displacement reaction in which the ions in the reactants are exchanged. Ion means here Ba it will form Ba2 plus, and potassium it will form K plus. Okay, so these ions exchange each other and they will form barium chromate and potassium sulfate.